So, crypto markets are still trading sideways right now. We have some anticipations around Ethereum and the price action that we're currently seeing. A lot of people think that we're going to be ripping up. Same thing with the price action around Bitcoin, pretty much heading to specific zones. And this is going to be having an effect on the altcoin market. We are seeing updates around overall, with Trump's tariffs, as well as a lot of, negotiations. And then from there, more detailed information about the Fed chair and a few other details, guys. Rate cuts are anticipated to be happening in September. And this is why a lot of people are still calling for altcoin season. But today I want to walk you through the price action, the news events that are taking place, and what is anticipated for altcoins in the next few weeks. But overall, if you're new to my channel, check out the rest of my content, guys. It keep you updated on the day-to-day events, price action on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity is shifting, and practically everything you need to be aware of. Guys, right now everything is just trading sideways. Nothing is dumping, nothing is pumping. And this is pretty much just showing that right now is the time to be holding your altcoins, not selling, not capitulating, more than likely just dollar cost averaging and waiting for that next leg up. I'm going to walk you through the price action with Ethereum, with Bitcoin, and what everyone is anticipating. So with all that being said, let's go and jump straight into the charts. So guys, like how I said, markets are trading sideways, not necessarily deviating or exploding up. Right now, Bitcoin's sitting at around 114,000. Ethereum is ranging, sitting at around that 3,600 region. Altcoins are just reflecting that price action around Ethereum, trading sideways, some altcoins deviating much more. And then with the Bitcoin dominance chart, we can see that Bitcoin dominance saw a recovery yesterday, but from then has started to break back down. And this is why, like how I said, everything is just kind of trading sideways right now, not dumping, not pumping, and it's because we're waiting for that next leg up. We have been seeing tons of news events, guys, come out with not only reporting from big companies, but also talks about rate cuts and what is anticipated moving into September. There is a 90% chance now that a September rate cut is going to be happening. So this is quite bullish for, the markets in general. The Cobesta letter talks about exactly what has happened in the last 24 hours and pretty much the red in the U.S. markets and overall exactly why everything might be trading sideways. It says what just happened over the last 24 hours. President Trump has doubled tariffs on India to 50%, imposed additional 15% tariffs on Japan, announced a 100% tariff on semiconductors, said pharmaceutical tariffs of 250% are coming soon. All four of these targets have had previous trade deals either teased or announced for 4 straight months. Did the trade deals just stall? So this is where everyone has mixed perspectives around the global economic events that are currently taking place. We have President Trump talking about how he's narrowing down his list for the next Fed chair, which is going to be, very interesting to see, especially if they're like a yes man, because they're just going to believe and say and move in the direction that Trump says. So that's going to be interesting. On top of that, we're seeing, a lot of tariffs being affected on specific companies, but you can see President Trump says Nvidia and Apple will dodge the 100% tariff on semiconductors due to their investment in the US. And this just goes, guys, with global economic events, it's just about who is scratching who's back and who's going to be affected. But with all this being said, guys, this is causing a lot of mixed sentiment in the markets and what's going to be anticipated, especially moving into September when we could be seeing rate cuts. Now, overall, everyone is still bullish on the markets. A lot of people think we could be ripping up. I give you guys perspectives from Merlin the trader, who is super freaking bullish regardless of everything that is going on. And this kind of goes into the, few traps that we've been seeing throughout the cycle, potentially when you should have been purchasing, and exactly what is anticipated based off of his perspective. He says, bull trap, bear trap, both executed to perfection. ETH just repeated the July setup that sent price vertical. Trap shorts, they'll be the ones sending it vertical. And right now, he's pretty much basing that specific price action off of that other zone, guys, that we currently saw previously. And this is where you can have an understanding on exactly what we could be seeing in the next few weeks based off of what has previously happened. But I stress to you guys, we could still be seeing deviations regardless of what zones we have already hit. Now, Dr. Profit talks about how everything is just trading sideways, and right now is one of the worst times to be selling and what you need to be doing if you have altcoins. He says, Bitcoin is not moving up right now, same as it's not moving down. It's moving in a macro sideways direction, preparing for the next leg up to the upside. These moves take some time, but I can only repeat, it's hold seasons. It's not the time to be selling your altcoins, guys. If anything, you need to be dollar cost averaging whenever we see the dips that are taking place. And this is a really great perspective, just showing that even though we see pumps, we see the dumps, nothing is actually really pumping or dumping. Everything is just kind of trading sideways, just preparing for that next leg up. Now, Crypto Intelligence X gives us a perspective around Bitcoin and the MTF update currently with what we're seeing. And he can pretty much say, specific zones we need to flip in order to see that green in the markets. And then other zones where potentially we could be seeing more deviations. It says the Bitcoin made a vulnerable low last Sunday, then tapped into the 115K zone on Monday, performing a support and resistance S&R flip. Yesterday's pullback held the 0.786 Fibonacci level at 112.7K. And Bitcoin breaks the S&R level, monitor the Gucci level at 117.4K. So you can pretty much see exactly where we need to be hitting for the flip to take place, and then from there we could be seeing a gradual rip up. But right now everything is just all eyes on this and exactly what's going to be happening. You see Crypto Intelligence X talks about exactly the two scenarios that he sees that are most likely going to be happening. He says liquidity grab, stopping out the weekend trades, holding above 110.2K and reverse the move to dump back to the 107.7K to 106.5K level. I don't see Bitcoin going lower than that for now. And this aligns with my perspective, guys, on what I was believing for Bitcoin and the deviations that we could be seeing and how overall it's sitting around this 106 region. Any deviations from there would look quite massive, but right now, based off of the strength, that is currently what I was anticipating as well. So this just kind of aligns with my perspective and also all of the other, talks that are currently happening in the markets. Now, if we look at the price action around, Bitcoin and pretty much the comparison that Crypto Mitchell now gives on it as well, he says, interesting, Bitcoin is back to resistance and consolidates here. This test should likely bring the bullish breakout. So this aligns with Crypto Intelligence X's perspective and how he thinks we could be flipping this specific zone. And then from there, we're going to be all Gucci. We're going to ride to the sun and become super freaking rich. But this is where we got to keep up with these zones if the global economic events are going to be pushing us upwards or if they're going to be bringing us downwards. So this is a super important level, guys, to be looking at, and potentially if we're just going to be ripping up or deviating more. Now, Crypto Mitchell now also talks about exactly the price action with Ethereum and exactly what is taking place. He says the areas remain the same for Ethereum. No clear direction as of yet, but short-term trend is down, looking to find buyers before we'll have that next big leg upwards. So in relation, guys, he believes that we're going to be deviating. If we are deviating with Ethereum, guys, altcoins are going to be taking a hit. A lot of them have found local bottoms already, but it's super important to be keeping up with these news events and the price action on Bitcoin and Ethereum, because it has a huge effect on your altcoins. And right now, it kind of ties back into Merlin, the trader's perspective on how there was a bull trap, a bear trap, a bull trap, a bear trap, and now we're pretty much on the verge of a crazy rip up. And, everyone has different perspectives. Ethereum could still be crashing down based off of the price action that we're currently seeing, and also this imbalance region and just area of liquidity, allowing people to buy in at lower valuations, which a lot of people are waiting for. So this is super important. I really believe we could be seeing more deviations with Ethereum. So my recommendation is to pretty much just keep up with everything that is going on in the markets to really determine if we're going to be deviating more or if we're going to pretty much see that recovery. Now, crypto markets are, like how I said, trading sideways, seeing a little bit of recovery, seeing a little bit of deviations, and this is where everything is just pretty much waiting for that next leg up. Everyone is looking at the global economic events that are happening. They're looking at the Fed chair for rate cuts moving into September. There's a lot of different moving parts, guys. If you look at my crypto portfolio, you can see some of the assets are up for the 24-hour. Some of them are down. And this is where, we have mixed perspectives around specific assets and what exactly you should be investing in. But the best thing you could be doing right now is looking for the strongest coins to invest in and start dollar cost averaging, because a lot of these assets are on the verge of making explosive moves, more than likely going to be making a lot of millionaires if you invest in the right coin. But overall, guys, that is currently what is taking place in the crypto space. We have a lot of mixed sentiment. A lot of people are calling for altcoin season. Deviations could still be taking place with Ethereum. There's a lot of, anticipation moving into September also with the rate cuts that are anticipating from the new Fed chair. Trump is also looking to hire a new Fed chair, which is, a mixed sentiment because we honestly don't know who he's going to be throwing in there, and it could be bullish for Trump, but not so bullish for the U.S. economy. So we got to really be looking at all these moving parts, the price action on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, and how everybody feels about that. We also have some key events happening this week, guys, which I have been letting you know as everything has progressed, and there's some important data coming out near the end of the week that's really going to either pump the markets or dump the markets. So be ready for that. And on this channel, I keep you updated with all that information. So if you're new to my channel, check out the rest of my content. Keep you guys updated on the day-to-day information, price action around Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity is shifting, and practically everything you need to be aware of. I shoot day-to-day content so that you guys can have a perspective and understand exactly all the mixed sentiment and what everybody is saying in the global economic events and the price action. I condense it in a 10 to 15 minute video That way you can pretty much have a clear understanding of what happened today and what to anticipate moving into tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of my content. Let me know what you guys think of the future of altcoins and Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything else. I'd love to hear everyone's perspective. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, drop them down below and I'll be sure to get to them. But overall, I drop day-to-day content every day, so stay tuned and hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. Peace.